Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby, and I'm bringing you another runner-up from my replay competition, the 8.5 replay competition. And today, we have Intact in his T71. This is a rather tasty matchup for this tank. No artillery, but you don't really mind meeting artillery in a T71. It's quite nice to have them to provide you with extra fire support in difficult situations. So it's almost even more impressive that Intact is able to pull off such a good game in his T71 without artillery. So, he's playing on El Haloof. And surprisingly, he did not get any spots. Absolutely incredible. It's pretty bizarre that Intact didn't manage to spot anything or get spotted until now. And he does the right thing here. Look at this. He knows he's spotted. Quick, let's get into safe location. And he sees the tree fall down up there. He reverses to get the spot off on the tiger that just knocked down the tree, hoping to get some fire support from the ridgeline. He keeps going up to spot the tiger, and he's getting a little bit of fire support from his friends. But he sees that the tiger is still on quite a lot of health. He got respotted there by the tiger, which means that he now gets shot in the backside from probably the F3 kind of area. So you can see the T71 doesn't have much health, but that's the nature of this tank, considering it's such a dangerous little beast. The Panther II got decimated as well on his approach. So an Intact has the tricky situation of trying to engage a heavy tank in a linear environment in a T71. Basically, that's just a bad situation. The Panther II puts a clean shot into the tiger. That's got to make them feel more confident. And the tiger shoots the Panther II. Intact's all over that. Puts in 3 shots and pulls back. Sees the tiger fires again. And puts in another 2 shots. Intact was able to pull off 747 damage there to that tiger tank. Fair enough, he used his Panther II as a meat shield, but that was the right thing to do. The Panther II would not have been able to take out that tiger by himself, especially considering he started on about half health. The Panther II still has about a quarter of his health left. And the tiger is dead. In the T71 you do sort of need to use your team as meat shields, which is a sad fact of many light tanks, but this is a team game. So, Intact's now unloading on the side of an IS-7, puts 2 in. IS hasn't quite spotted him yet, his sixth sense hasn't gone off, and the IS is aiming at the wrong place. And he's able to do 422 damage to the IS before he gets spotted from above. And he pulls back when his sixth sense goes off. Intact's showing really good situational awareness here. Being a cheeky T71, which is how I like to play this tank as well. Putting shots into the target when they're available and pulling back whenever he's going to be hit, so to say. Now he sees that there's a Jagdpanther, 2 Jagdpanthers and an M6 above him. The Jagdpanther is being pushed by his Panther friend in the IS-3 to his flank. And they take out that Jagdpanther successfully. Now I don't like the fact that Intact went into that position. If that Jagdpanther hadn't been so bad, the Jagdpanther would have been able to shoot Intact. But he makes up for it with some play. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 113, 131. Those are all very low rolls. 151, he's not rolling high, that's for sure. 164, that's a bit better. But oh my gosh, he got a pretty bad average there, only doing 382 with his 6 shots, which means that he was unable to take out the Jagdpanther completely by himself. But such is the nature of RNG in this game. With these auto-loaders, it can make a big difference, for example, on a bat chat, whether you roll high with your 5 shells or if you roll low. If you get donkey rolls for all of your 5 shots, you might not even be able to do, say, 1700 damage or even 1500 damage for your 5 shots. But if you rolled monster high, you might be able to do kind of 2200 upwards to 2500 if you really were able to roll really high. Intact's doing some really good work there. I didn't give him enough respect because I was just talking about back chat shenanigans. But he just came in there and interrupted the cap on 90 whatever % it was. He saved the game there. So I rewound it a bit just to show you a slow motion replay of the game saving moment that Intact had there. Here you go, down into half speed. He's aiming his shots. 97. He reduces the cap to 69. He aims at the T43. Puts a cheeky shot into him as well. And proceeds to unload on the T43. Game-winning performance there. And he fires his last shell at the Tiger II to hope to penetrate him, because he knows he has to reload. Now really you guys are going to be shown pretty much a masterclass here of being able to engage heavier armored targets and knowing how to be cheeky without taking shots. Intact is not resorting to firing the heat shells. He only has 1 clip of heat and I guess he wants to save it for the end. The game's starting to get a little bit more hairy now. This IS spots him, but for some reason the IS is aiming at the T150, completely ignorant of the very dangerous T71 behind him, and he looks completely the wrong way and gets ambushed. You can see Intact reloads as soon as he makes a kill. Having played the T71 myself, I feel that that is completely the right thing to do. You always want to have a full clip engaged in this tank, and the speed of it means that if you need to get away, you can get away. So if you're caught reloading in the T71 in this kind of a situation, it's not too bad. Here we can see Intact unloading on the side of the IS-3. Fortunately the first shot bounces, the second shot misses, and he gets spotted, so he only fires a third before he pulls back. He very cheekily goes back up to shoot more of the IS-3. And is able to do 644 damage to the IS-3 4 times with his 4 hits. So Intact gets ambushed for the first time by a Tiger. We can see how quickly the T71 is able to reload. This Tiger might think he's still reloading right now. Intact's going to show you how to move basically here. Great movement to get around the Tiger. He's pretty lucky the Tiger doesn't seem to be aiming very well. And he absolutely decimates the Tiger there. I like how Intact was using sniper mode while still circle strafing the Tiger there. That shows you that he really is quite careful with his aiming. That's really good. A lot of players might just stay in third person and have to focus on where they drive and not focus on making all the shots count like he did. And now he's got the perfect position in the back of a Tiger II. He brutalizes the Tiger II and then he pulls back to reload. The Tiger II fires a shot probably purely out of frustration. Now Intact is alone versus 2 tanks. So having been spotted there, he's pulling back and he's changing his position again. Which is completely the right thing to do. He wants to be able to engage the Tiger II/IS again. From a new angle. Let's just speed it up for a few seconds. So he's trying his luck with an engagement from here. His little spot there was to try and find the IS. I'm pretty sure he does have XVM with the map mod that enables you to know the last known locations, and he went up there to try and spot the IS. He hasn't been spotted, so he's still going to be able to ambush. And as you can see, he now decides that it's heat time. So he reloads a clip of heat. And I think he has just decided it is man mode time. Loaded with his heat rounds, he's fully capable of penetrating the Tiger II in most positions. And here we can see he's putting his money where his mouth is. Comes round. Man mode's a couple more shots. Still circle strafing while in sniper mode. Spotted where the IS was, and so he falls back behind this rock. Just going to speed up the game a bit here and tell you what I think that Intact is thinking here. So Intact decides that he wants to reload a clip of APCR rather than the 3 heat shells that he has remaining. He's been berated by his team for not capping, but he's being berated by players which are infinitely worse than he is. He knows that if he stays in that cap, he leaves it down to RNG whether the IS hits him or not. And so he's trying to patrol. He now, having gone up into their base, figures out that the IS probably went looking for him. And this was not a very graceful end to the game. But it's an end to the game. It was not graceful. I would have preferred it if maybe there would have been a clean end to the game. And he had maybe used his view range to spot the IS without being spotted to get a confirmed kill, but he took his chance at the end. He went after that IS, and the IS was unable to shoot him, and he penetrated the IS twice, winning the game. But really clear thinking there at the end. He sat in the cap, pulled back. The IS probably thought that he was sitting in the bushes where the IS ended up when he spotted him. Intact then went up into their base to try and get a spot down, and then once he knew that the IS had not pulled back, he did a sweep. And his sweep eventually found the IS in the end. And a bit touch and go, but a really good end and a strong play. Let's take a look at some post-game stats. So here are the post-game stats for the game that Intact submitted. He managed to get a very healthy amount of experience. 1,852 for non-premium, non-double. Doing over 5,000 damage in a T71. That's pretty big work, considering this tank doesn't hold that many shells. We can see it only has 60 shells, and he fired 51 of those 60. Considering the fact that a lot of players will waff shots with this tank, he was able to hit 46 of those 51 shells and penetrate 39 of those 46. And he didn't only fire heat, he only fired 1 clip of heat at the end when he needed to secure the kill on the Tiger II. Really, this was quite a big carry and quite a nice matchup with a nice map to play the T71 on. He showed really clever judgment, and he was able to do 92 base defense points, as you can see. He really did save the game with the interrupt initially, and then he went man mode against a tier 8 and a tier 7 heavy in a tier 7 light. So it's absolutely amazing work. So guys, if you've enjoyed this replay, think about rating it down below. Intact is one of the runners up, and Intact, you're completely invited to come and join me on my live stream if you want to. As always guys, thanks for watching, you've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.